everyone, and welcome to our Fitness for Myeloma event today, brought to you by the Myeloma Crowd Community by HealthTree program. My name is Lindley Sweeney, and I'm the Fitness for Myeloma chapter head. Today, we will be learning from Rick Massar, who I'll formally introduce to you in a minute. I am grateful for all of your support today and participation. Today's session will be recorded. The recording, along with the slides, will be sent to all registrants within 48 hours after this event has concluded. As always, I would like to thank our sponsors, without whom this would not have been possible. Bristol Myers Squibb, Amgen Oncology, Karyopharm Therapeutics, AbbVie, Adaptive Biotechnologies, Genentech, Oncopeptides, and Takeda Oncology. So today's topic, we will be focusing on finding your peace through Qigong. Qigong is a practice of coordinated body posture and movement, breathing and meditation used for the purposes of health, spirituality, and martial arts training. We chose this topic because I know the benefits of meditation and breathing and movement are essential to each person's journey. When I thought of Qigong, I knew that Rick would be the absolute best teacher to have demonstrate and teach us the history of Qigong. I know Rick from Tucson, Arizona, where we work together at the YMCA as fitness instructors and personal trainers. Rick is one of the most genuine and kind people, as well as an amazing instructor. He adapts to each class with a smile on his face and caring for each person he works with. He really gets to know each person and helps everyone find what they need. I enjoyed working alongside Rick when I was in Tucson, and I am so excited for you to meet him and learn from him today. So here's Rick. So I'm so excited for this today. Rick had the good fortune of being introduced to Qigong, which directly translates to energy work, through his many years of Chinese martial arts training. As a 7th degree black belt and master of Shaolin Kempo, it was necessary to train and cultivate internal and external energy to achieve true balance. He's currently spending his retirement living in Tucson. I use quotes because he works very hard at the YMCA and as a certified group fitness instructor and personal trainer, where in his classes, they have a regular group of about 25 people in his Qigong class. Personal note, Rick has been married for 40 years to his beautiful wife. They have 2 grown sons, 1 dog, and a brand new grandson. At this stage of life, for him, it's all about giving back. His certifications include 7th degree black belt master, Shaolin Kempo, Qigong, Ba Dua Jin instructor, as well as an ACE certified group fitness instructor and ACE YMCA personal trainer. So I am going to turn the time over to Rick. It is all you, and we are so excited to learn from you.
Thank you, Lynn. That was very generous of you. I can't believe how generous Lynn is with her words. She is by far one of the kindest people I know. And it's my pleasure today to be able to share something I've spent a lot of time with throughout my life, shared with people who clearly are looking for ways to find peace. I'd like to give you a little background of what Qigong actually is. I'm sure some of you are aware that the word qi is a Chinese word for energy. So what is qi? Traditional Chinese medicine tells us that we, as a human being, are nothing but a large magnet. We have a North Pole, we have a South Pole at our feet. And we have a pathway or a network of energy that flows throughout our body that creates an electromagnetic field. This is apart from our circulatory system. This is a separate circulation system that circulates qi flow. Where does qi come from? If any of you have taken a physics class, one of the first things they tell you is that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So, throughout the history of mankind, energy has been flowing freely throughout this planet. Be it flora or fauna, in everywhere we look, energy abounds. When we leave the planet, our energy remains. It's believed through traditional Chinese medicine that when we are born with a certain amount of qi. This is called original qi, which is stored 2 inches below our navel at an area called our lower dantian, D-A-N-T-I-E-N. The lower dantian is an energy well. And in this energy well, our original qi is banked. So we are basically banking this energy for a lifetime. Like anything else, energy can become stale. And if we don't do the work to cultivate it, to stimulate it and nurture it, we can lose it. So the practice of Qigong is designed to nurture, fortify, circulate that qi throughout your body. This is our life force. That's qi. The second word in Qigong is Kong, K-U-N-G. This translates to English as work. So what could be more simple? Energy, work. How did the Chinese happen upon Qigong? Well, it's a simple story. Back in 509 AD, so the story goes, a Buddhist monk from India traveled across Asia into China. Wearily, he climbed a huge mountain that was covered in pine trees, a pine forest. In the center of this pine forest, he came upon a temple. In this temple, he found a number of Buddhist monks. They were weak, they were lazy. They didn't have the energy to meditate long hours. And he decided at that point that he would take the time to develop a system of exercises that would increase the internal energy, hence aiding the development of their external energy. So the story goes that Bodhidharma, this monk, ascended the mountain to a cave at the top of the mountain. He went into the cave and he meditated for 9 years. Leaving the cave, he had in his possession 18 exercises called the 18 Hands of Lohan. He gave them that name. And he taught this to the monks. These monks thrived through practice. Their energy grew. They developed into very powerful human beings. And not only were they meditatively strong, they were physically strong. And with this physical strength, they advanced the practice of Qigong into Kung Fu, which means make work, or the traditional martial arts of China. These were the Shaolin monks. Shaolin means pine forest. So that gives you a little background into the roots of Qigong. What does Qigong do for us? In practicing Qigong, we develop stronger posture. We learn how to move in a stronger posture. We talk a lot in Qigong about rooting. What is rooting? Rooting is fixing yourself to the earth, connecting feet, body to the earth. And through that, we drill down our roots 10,000 feet into the earth. This gives us strength and stability. Traditional Chinese always believed that we are like the willow tree, strongly rooted to the earth, but we bend in the breeze. Next comes the movement, that bending in the breeze, the softness of motion, softness that can become hard, soft that can be snap. From movement, we go to meditation. And we do all of these things at once. Let's speak a minute about meditation. I know a lot of you possibly practice or may be confused about the whole concept of meditation. I think meditation has been overly thought. It's been put into the minds of the practitioners for the most part that we have to learn how to clear our mind. This really isn't possible. We are far too complex and we live in a far too complex environment to be able to quiet our mind completely. So how do we deal with that? We deal with it through two ways. Traditional Chinese medicine believes that we have two brains. We have the rational mind, the mind that allows us to think clearly and make good decisions. And then we have its adversary, the monkey brain. The monkey brain is well named. We've all seen how a monkey can move around randomly, constantly moving around without any attention. This is what the monkey brain does to us. It allows us to fixate on thoughts that aren't healthy for us. It allows our mind to wander to places that don't give us positive feedback. So what is our job? Our job is to try and rid ourselves of anything that doesn't serve us. In doing so, we like to use the analogy of being outside in a beautiful field, looking up at a perfectly blue sky with beautiful white clouds. As we have this image, we can feel a breeze moving those clouds by. And any negative thought you might have, we place on a cloud and let it float. So we don't retain, we don't hold, we don't grasp negativity. We think about positivity. When we practice Qigong, we practice Qigong with intention. The intention is that we don't think about what we're having for lunch that day. We don't think about what we decide to put on that evening in terms of our clothing. We don't think about any family issue. We take this time to be within ourselves, to take possession of us. It's a good analogy to think about just stepping back. If all day you're here, step back from all that doesn't serve you. What is most critical to Qigong? In order to nurture that lower dantian that we spoke about earlier, we need to be able to breathe properly. And how do we do this? If you've ever seen a new baby, when they're laying there on their back and they're quietly breathing, you can watch their stomach rise and fall. In Western medicine, this is called diaphragmatic breathing, where you're exercising the diaphragm to create almost like what you would use to pump a bellows and move energy. So in that baby, we see the best way to breathe. As we move through life, as the stressors enter our life, as we become more a part of this intense world, our breathing tends to move up. We breathe in our throat, we breathe shallow. We're not breathing down into that diaphragm, filling our belly like a ball. We're going to talk about that when we go into our exercise piece. So our intention now is to breathe like a baby. We take deep breaths in through our nose, and we visualize that breath cool and fresh, flowing downward to our belly. We feel our belly expand like a ball. And when we exhale, we feel our belly pull inward as we breathe out hot, sticky air that does not serve us. This is true breath, and it is healthy breath. Another reason it's healthy is by breathing diaphragmatically into that lower dantian, into that belly. You're now massaging your internal organs. You're not doing that when you're breathing up here. Your organs are stagnant. We spend too much time at the gym thinking about how we can get bigger muscles. We neglect the fact that we have so much inside of us that needs to be exercised. And by denying that, we're only dealing with 50% of who we are. We want to be 100% in that moment as we take care of ourselves. So we want to breathe diaphragmatically. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to stand and I'm going to present to you the word that you heard earlier, Badwa Jin. What is Badwa Jin? In Chinese, it translates to the 8 strands or 8 threads of the brocade. What could be more beautiful than a silk embroidered brocade? So the Chinese immediately set their mindset in a place of beauty. They embrace the beauty of the brocade. I'm going to take you through these exercises. If you have issues standing, you can do most of these movements seated. So just follow me carefully as you're seated or as you're standing, and I will take you through Badwa Jin. We begin our practice of Badwa Jin with our feet together. We flare our feet slightly outward at the toes. We soften our knees. Hips sink gently toward the earth. Our spine is straight to allow qi to flow in straight lines. Our shoulders are down and relaxed because the practice of Qigong requires relaxation. Think again of the willow tree that bends or flows in the breeze. Our eyes gaze forward. We soften our eyes. We want to see everything and nothing at the same time. Focus on nothing. We draw in deep breath. Our arms rise, our eyes rise. We join our hands together. And we exhale slowly As we draw hands down to our heart center, we allow our chin to sink toward our chest, eyes soften and close. We draw in our first deep breath, filling our belly like a ball. We exhale long and slow. Again, deep breath in. Expand your belly. Exhale, long and slow. We allow our tongue to rest at the roof of our mouth. By placing our tongue there, we are connecting two major meridians, our conception vessel and our governing vessel. They run up through the front of our body, through the tongue to roof and mouth connection, down the back of our spine, and they join at our perineum. Again, deep breath in. Exhale, long and slow. We take a moment to be still. As thoughts enter your mind, place them on that cloud. Let them float away. We hold on to nothing that does not serve us. Stay with your breath, breathe and relax. This period of standing meditation can last for a minute. It can last for 5 minutes. It depends on the practitioner and their level of practice. We're going to rise with our chin now as our eyes open. Again, setting our posture. We're going to step shoulder width with our left leg. We're going to root our feet to the earth, knees slightly bent. We're going to draw in a deep breath. We're going to open with our arms, opening armpits and chest. And we're going to exhale as we float with our palms. There are many sensations that we look for as we rise. Deep breath in. We exhale as we float. I'll give you one sensation to focus on. Rise, deep breath in. Feel weight in your palms. Exhale, float downward. Feel a gentle resistance in your palms. Again, we rise up. Exhale, float. Again, we draw energy up through our heart center. Palms face outward as we exhale and push. Gather energy. Deep breath in, draw inward. Exhale, push the length of your breath. Again, deep breath in. Push length of your breath. We draw together inward. Hands flow to the side as we push outward. Exhale. Again, deep breath in. Exhale. Once more, deep breath in. And we exhale the length of this movement. Gather arms forward, drawing deep breath. Exhale, float. Feel that gentle resistance. We rise up, hands to sky. And we float downward as we paint the sky. Again, inhale, rise. Exhale, long and slow. Once more, we inhale as we rise. We exhale, long and slow. These movements are called fire and water. These are key elements in the practice of Chinese martial art. As we stand and relax, we draw in deep breath, eyes rise up. Exhale, head rolls through your left shoulder. Again, eyes rise, deep breath in. Exhale and roll through left shoulder. Once again, deep breath, eyes rise. Exhale to the earth. Our chin sinks, eyes to the earth. We reverse this pattern. Deep breath in. Exhale as you roll upward, releasing your breath to the sky. Again, chin sinks, deep breath in. Exhale as we roll upward through the sky. Once more, deep breath in. Exhale, roll upward through the sky. Slowly our chin rises. We draw in deep breath, roll shoulders back. Exhale, sink. Let your body rise up as you roll back. Exhale, sink. Once more, deep breath in. Exhale and sink. We reverse this motion. Draw deep breath in, draw shoulder blades back. Exhale, roll forward and sink. Deep breath in, roll back. Exhale, roll forward and sink. Once more, deep breath in, roll back. Exhale, sink. Take a moment to be still. We shake our wrists. We bounce on our heels. And we step back from the center that we've just occupied as we allow energy to remain in the earth. This is energy that does not serve us, we've discarded. So this was a simple warm-up for practicing Ba Dua Jin. We would now go from our warm-up into our Ba Dua Jin 8 strands of the brocade. We draw in deep breath. Arms rise, eyes rise. Palms face down. Exhale as palms float to the earth. Feel that resistance. We're going to turn our palms inward and draw them into our lower dantian as we draw this energy toward the lower dantian. And we step shoulder width, left leg. Our first strand of the brocade, arms rise, eyes rise, palms face sky as we hold the sky above us. We push palms to the sky, bring them down to the crown of our head. Again, push up, down to the crown of your head. I want you to inhale here, exhale upward. Again, inhale here, exhale upward. We open. Palms float. We control this movement and feel the resistance in our palms. Hands descend. We take a deep breath in again as we clear between each exercise. Exhale, long and slow. Try to exhale the length of your movement. This takes practice. Again, we gather and draw in to our lower dantian. And we're going to step wider with our left foot. We call this a horse stance. You try and stay centered here so you can see this. We step out horse stance. We bend our knees. This is called a horse stance because it simulates sitting on a horse. We draw in deep breath, arms rise, eyes rise. Exhale, float downward. Rise up to your center, arms push outward. This motion is about drawing a bow and shooting an arrow. So we're going to sweep with our right arm across, and we're going to lift our left palm upward. We exhale as we pull on the bow, and we gaze at the bow. We repeat this opposite side. Deep breath in, left arm sweeps, right palm rises. Exhale, pull the bow. Be the archer. Look toward the bow. Let's try it again. Right palm sweeps, left rises. Exhale, pull the bow. As I pull, I transfer weight to my right leg. You can vary the degree of depth in your horse stance for strength. Once more, left sweeps, right rises. Exhale, draw the bow. Arms extend outward. We draw down and rise up. Hands descend. Feet draw together. Deep breath in. Exhale. Draw inward. Nurture lower dantian. For the third strand of the brocade, it's a single hand exchange. Step, left foot, shoulder width. We draw hands up to our heart center. We push right palm down, left palm up simultaneously. The exchange begins, rise up, right hand, left hand descends. Push up. Emphasize posture, be straight. Again, draw down, right hand, left rises. Exchange, right palm down, left palm sky. Again, exchange. Up, push, opposite direction. Do it once more. We draw down. We exchange, push. Open, left arm, float. Draw feet together. Deep breath in, we rise. Exhale, palms float, float. Once again, draw inward, lower dantian. For the fourth strand of the brocade, again, step, left foot, shoulder width. We bring our hands outward to our sides, palms face earth. Pause for a moment, set your posture. We're going to inhale facing forward. And as we exhale, we rotate completely to our right. Look behind you. Inhale back to your center, slowly. Exhale, rotate completely to your left. Look behind you. Again, inhale to center. Exhale as we rotate completely to our right. Once more, back to center. And take exhale to your left. Try and move a little further in your turn each time. Slowly come back to your center. Float palms toward the earth. Feet draw together. Deep breath in, arms rise, eyes rise. We exhale as palms float. Again, we gather this energy through our practice, drawing it inward to our lower dantian. For the fifth strand of the brocade, we're stepping wider again to our horse stance. We gather below. We rise up, hands open, palms face earth. Draw down slowly to your knees. Our head dips down to our right knee. We sweep through our left knee. Roll shoulders out. Roll eyes to the sky, shoulders out. And return to the earth. We reverse this. Roll up. Roll, roll. Exhale to the earth. Again, we roll up, opposite direction. Exhale to the earth. Again, roll up, deep breath in. Exhale to the earth. Once more, roll up. And exhale to the earth. Push hips forward. Rise up slowly, eyes forward. Feet draw together. Deep breath in, arms rise, eyes rise. Exhale once again as our palms float. And we prepare for the sixth strand of the brocade. We bring lower dantian and fill it with energy. We step shoulder width, left leg. Our hands open in front of us. We bring them around to our kidneys, pressing our palms to kidney. We inhale, push our hips forward, arch back with our eyes to the sky. And as we exhale, we bend forward at the waist, moving our hands down the backs of our legs toward our heels. Chin to our chest. Rise up slowly, hands tracing the backs of your legs, palms to kidneys. Push hips forward, deep breath in. As we exhale, come forward, trace down the backs of your legs. Chin to your chest. Once more, deep breath in, rise up, palms to kidneys, arch. Exhale, forward, sink to the earth. Allow your hands to hang forward. As you keep your chin to your chest, we're going to rise up one vertebrae at a time. Slowly. If you feel your body swaying, allow it to sway. We use our core strength to lift us. As we reach full posture, roll shoulders back. Chin and eyes are last to rise. Feet draw together. Once again, we draw in deep breath, and our palms float to the earth. Gather in, filled Dantian for the 7th strand of the brocade. We call this the crazy eye punch. Again, we step wider to our horse stance. Comfortably sit in your chair. Gather some energy from below, open it above. As hands come down, they become fists. Draw them to either side of your chest. Be sure when you punch to open your eyes wide and release energy from deep within. Don't be shy. We draw in deep breath and we release. Open palm, gather energy. Deep breath back, release. Open palm, gather energy. Deep breath in, release. Palm, gather. Deep breath in and release. Open palm, draw inward. Gather. Open above, palms descend. We draw feet together. Once more, deep breath in. Exhale, draw energy from sky. And again, we nurture lower dantian, draw inward. For the 8th and final strand of the brocade, I'm going to turn to show you the hand position. We step shoulder width, left leg. Hands back to our kidney, making the shape of a triangle. We push up on our kidneys, rise on toes, crash heels down, push down on your kidney. Up, 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 push up, again, up, once more, up, deep breath in, arms rise, eyes rise. Exhale as palms float, float, float. Once again, hands rise, palms together. Exhale slowly as we bring them to our heart center. Bow gently forward. Rise again. Inhale. Exhale and float. We shake once again, releasing energy to the earth. We bounce on our heels. And again, we step away from our center where we leave energy that does not serve us. This is a good overview of the 8 strands of the brocade. Again, you can do this seated, you can do it standing. There's many different ways you're nurturing muscle, tendon, internal organs through each of these movements. Another piece to our training is self-massage. And we do quite a bit of that as well at the end of a practice. Self-massage, which I really don't have the time to get into today, is an involvement where you're actually pounding fists on your body. We pound, so we bring blood to the surface. We pound, so we attack different energy centers throughout our body. We awaken them. We practice this through tapping. I'm fairly sure that a good deal of you know about energy centers, you know about pressure points. These are all very real. They all have deep connections to many internal organs. For example, through acupressure, you can massage the ear from the top of the ear to the bottom of the ear. And what you're doing here is you're connecting with a number of pressure points, a number of trigger points that connect to internal organs like your stomach, gallbladder, kidney, etc. We get to the bottom, we squeeze, we pull. So hopefully this has been a good overview for you. It's given you a little insight into what Qigong is. There's quite a few different types of it that you can watch in video on YouTube. And I would suggest doing that. They're really quite interesting. You can practice and follow them. But again, like anything else, this is an everyday practice, something we do. It's part of our life.
Thanks, Rick. That was really fun to follow along and do it with you. So I'm going to open up the time now for people to ask, feel free and ask questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. As of now, we don't have any, but I really like that because it gets us more in tune with our breathing and focusing on not just our shallow breath and really getting deep. And I did yawn a few times.
That's
doing
okay.
that.
You need more oxygen.
Yeah. So I really, really appreciated that and following along.
Great.
So does anyone?
An interesting little fact about breath is that when you're breathing up here, you're probably breathing anywhere from 14 to 20 times per minute. When you belly breathe and relax your breath, you can bring that down to 8 to 10 breaths per minute. Interesting.
That is interesting. One question, does Qigong help improve posture?
Yes, it does help improve posture by using those various movements where you're pulling back shoulder blades, where you're lifting your chin to look to the horizon. That's an important point that I didn't mention earlier. When you're in your posture, when you're practicing, you're actually looking at the horizon when you see everything and nothing at the same time. So by balancing your vision to the horizon, you have to keep your chin up. When you keep your chin up, your shoulders are back. When your head is forward, interesting fact, for every inch your head is forward of center, 10 pounds of additional weight that you're carrying.
Wow.
So practice posture.
What is your favorite movement and why?
Well, there are a couple of different sets that I practice. The one we did today is the 8 strands of the brocade. In that one, I really love the drawing of the bow. I think it incorporates a lot of different movement. And if you shift properly, you can really move your body with that draw. And you're moving upper body, lower body. The horse stance is a great way to build lower body strength. Try sitting in a horse stance for a minute. You'll shake a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love the bow and arrow. That's one of my favorites.
I'd have to say, I think that was my favorite too.
Was it?
Uh, yeah, I like that one.
Okay,
Okay, we have some more questions.
great.
Dolores asked, how often do you recommend practicing?
I would practice every day. I recommend practicing every day. Best time of day is to practice in the morning when the air is fresh. And the best place to practice is outdoors. So you're getting fresh air. Being exposed to sun is healthy at that time of day, as long as you don't make direct eye contact with the sun. And working your breath in fresh air is far better than being in an air-conditioned or heated room.
How long should you practice it for?
We just did about a half hour doing the 8 strands. You don't need more than that. You don't have to make it something that's laborious. It shouldn't be labor. It should be something that you really look forward to. And you can see the way we practice today, these movements were simple, but the effects are complex. So that's what makes them so incredibly good.
I like that. So Rocco says it seems to help with flexibility. Have you found that it really helps with that?
Absolutely. If you notice when we were doing a lot of the turning, a lot of the rotating through the lower back, that's vital for that. When we did the 6th strand of the brocade, where we did the palms to the kidneys, arching back, eyes to sky, and then reversing that by sinking down to our heels, that again is working not only flexibility, but a tremendous amount of core strength to come back up again.
Yeah,
you would know that, Lynn, from using your rectus abdominis and your spinea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few more questions. Do you practice in silence or with music?
I play music in my class. The music I love, I've been using a Navajo flute music by a guy named Travis Terry. And he has, one of his albums is called Canyons. There's a few of them, but the flute is beautiful and it's very meditative. And you can really allow it to fill your brain, which is nice. There are also a lot of Tai Chi tapes that you can listen to. They're all on the various music servers. So, you know, there's quite a bit of nice, soft, meditative music that you can use.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes having that quiet music helps shut off your brain so that you don't get distracted in thought.
Well, what you can do is you can fixate on it and use it as a focal point. Now you're not thinking about anything else except that sound. It's like using a mantra in yoga, where you would say Om, or any of one of those things that they talk about in a meditative yoga.
Yeah.
Similar.
And I feel like having a mantra just in life in general can help us in tough situations or
Definitely.
whatever. I have mantras for myself when I'm out running or biking and I start to get discouraged. I say a mantra to myself and it helps kind of distract myself from whatever's going on. So I think
that, and it's reinforcing, it's self-reinforcing.
Yeah.
There was actually a mantra that I was using in the beginning when I was telling you to let go. So for a breathing mantra, you can inhale with let, exhale with go, because go is a good exhale. Inhale, let, exhale, go. So these are things that you would bring up from down below, down where your lower non-TM resides.
That's great. Thistlejack says, my husband teaches Tai Chi, so I'm familiar with Qigong. I want to encourage all multiple myeloma patients to develop their practice. It has been beneficial to us both. Thank you. So that's a big thank you.
Excellent.
To you for doing this.
Great.
And then should we strive to memorize these movements and in that sequence that we did it today?
That is the sequence. If you go to YouTube, Google Badua Jin, Baduajin, and the 8 strands will come up. You can actually watch them practiced by monks or other Chinese practitioners and just follow their practice. So you have a teacher.
Yeah.
You don't need.
Well, also, this is recorded, so everyone will get the recording of this later. So they can
Good.
watch you flow through it again
Great.
as
Great.
many times as they want.
And it's important to keep a flow, moving from one exercise to the next. You want that flow. We complete each exercise with that clear. And there's many visuals. I hope that some of you could feel a little bit of pressure in your palms. I hope, well, for me, I like to think of it as being in a rain shower and feeling that shower come down over me. Cool, soothing water coming down over me as I draw down.
And that's cool.
Good
like that.
Good visuals, yeah.
Yeah.
Visualize, don't be afraid.
Is it better to breathe through our nose or through our mouth during these movements, or a mix of both?
You can break it up a little bit, but I would suggest always exhaling through your mouth. I like inhaling through my nose.
And then exhale through the mouth.
From a health point of view, inhaling through your nose is better because your nose is a filtration system. Your mouth is not. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind.
Okay, perfect. All right, so thank you so much, Rick. That was a lot of fun to follow along.
That was my pleasure. Thank you.
So, I think we have one more question.
Great.
Please repeat the name of the flute player.
Travis Terry.
Travis
Terry. Incredible Navajo flute.
Great. All right, so we are going to conclude our meeting today. Our next meeting will be on July 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we will be continuing the practice of stress management through Reiki and massage. So it's important to keep our bodies as relaxed as possible while still giving them activity in order to give them the best chance of our fighting multiple myeloma. You may be interested in other community events that we have coming up. Friday, June 4th at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will hear from Skyline DX representatives in our relapsed refractory myeloma patients chapter as they discuss how their new diagnostic test can be used to identify high-risk myeloma and diagnosis and relapse. Tuesday, June 8th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific is our SoCal Myeloma Community Chapter event. Multiple myeloma specialists from City of Hope, Dr. Amrita Krishnan, will be joining us to answer your questions. Thursday, June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern, our stem cell transplant chapter registered dietitian Kate Broswell will be speaking to us about what diet is best after stem cell transplant. That same day in the evening, we will have our myeloma caregiver chapter. We will be interactively creating resources together in order to build our own care teams as caregivers. Recent studies have shown that due to not taking care of themselves, a higher percentage of caregivers end up with worse health than when they began caregiving. We want to avoid this at all costs. Thursday, June 17th will be our newly diagnosed myeloma patients chapter. The topic will be, why do I need a multiple myeloma specialist? Greg Brozate, Myeloma Crowd Roundtable Program Director, will be joining us to share these studies and his personal experience about why having a specialist on your team is worth it. The link for any of those events and even more events we haven't yet mentioned today is found at the bottom of this slide and will be sent out in the follow-up email. A special thank you again to our sponsors, Bristol Myers Squibb, Amgen Oncology, Caropharm Therapeutics, AbbVie, Adaptive Biotechnologies, Genentech, Oncopeptides, and Takeda Oncology. And thank you for helping us build a strong myeloma community. I appreciate you all and hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you, Rick, for helping us out today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Anytime you need me, call me.
I will. We will. Absolutely.
Great.
So thank you all.